Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Shin Kim, teaching the Western civilization. Actually, we're starting from the ancient civilization long time ago, actually from the Mesopotamian civilization, Egyptian civilization, and through the actually Greek civilization. And after that, we're dealing with also Roman civilization and the birth of Christianity, and especially when we reach to the Middle Age. Early Middle Age, actually High Middle Age, and the Late Middle Age. And during those times, also dealing with the Crusade. And maybe through the last class, actually, I'm dealing with the Roman Catholic Church. Now we are almost coming to the modern era. Actually, that actually start from the Renaissance, the age of Renaissance. Almost it is overlap actually between actually modern era and the late middle age, and the age of Renaissance actually around the start 350, almost it lasts 200 or 250 years. Actually, through the actually previous class, I'm dealing with there are a lot of actually wars in Western Europe, especially the Crusade, and another actually war is 100 years war between actually England and France. And usually the war brought disaster. Many people died, and that area is actually devastated, and there is no more food, so many deaths, and so. But there are sometimes war have a good effect. One of that is war actually brought increased contact and new idea. Actually, through the crusade, actually, Western Europe for first time they face with a new culture in Arabic world, Arab civilization, and also whenever there is a war, the army moved from here and there, and they contact new culture and new idea. That's why war brought increased contact and new idea during this age of Renaissance. Also, trade increasing, created a wealthy class. Look at the painting. Look at the picture. Actually, they are selling. Okay, they maybe import a lot of things from the Arabic world, or they import a lot of things from the Asia. See, they brought it, and they open their shop, and they selling it. Through that process, actually, some kind of merchant or some kind of business class actually arose, and they gain the power. It looks like yeah, from that time money has power. Okay, money, wealth has power. It exactly actually looks like starting the age of the Renaissance, and the travel increasing, and finally there are a lot of big ship going around the world, and they selling and they buying, and they exchanging that good things. That's why. And also urban area grows. So though there is more business allowed, and in that area actually urban, more people getting together, and the city actually grows because of that reason. And even though, yeah, the late Middle Age, usually it is recorded there is a Black Death like the coronavirus, and also Great Famine and 100 Years War. It looks like a dark age, okay, during that time. So many people died because of a virus, and there was not enough food, and also in here and there was a big war. So many people died. So it looks like a dark cloud covered Western Europe during the late Middle Age. But it looks like as soon as the age of Renaissance coming, it looks like there are a lot of recovery. So recovery from the disaster of the 14th centuries. So there are a lot of actually changing of atmosphere. So environment and the politics and economics and religion. etc. So many actually big changes during the age of Renaissance. So until maybe Middle Age, Western Europe civilization is out of date comparing to other actually continent. So it is extremely actually hard time. But finally, through the age of Renaissance, maybe Western Europe finally they getting some kind of priority. Finally, Western Europe allows among other nations. They become stronger, they become powerful, and they become influential culture during the age of Renaissance. It is actually exactly from that time Western Europe becomes strong country, strong continent. Especially the Medici family. Actually, there are a lot of noble family. Actually, so the achievement of Renaissance were the product of elite rather than a mass. So it looks like a merchant and the businessman, the power of businessman actually become stronger. So that's why Renaissance was read by actually elite instead of people. Okay, so one of actually influential family called Medici family is huge. They have a huge power over the Western Europe, and the economic and the commercial recovery from flourishing trade throughout the Mediterranean seas in that area. Okay, wealthy upper class Italian society, from especially the city Venice and Florence. In Italy. Italy actually wealthy upper class. Actually, they start dominating some civilization in Western Europe, especially Medici family of Florence become wealthy from banking system. Finally, they build up the bank and borrow the money with interest and usually, yeah, banking. As soon as you become a banker, you can be easily actually can be rich. And all manufacturing, there are a lot of actually based on the system of a guild, okay, through the Middle Age. Finally, they making big factory. Actually, that's why all manufacturing and mining and trade. Through that actually process, Medici family become one of the strongest family in Western Europe. And the shop and business on the ground floor. So I cannot remember the full name belong to the Medici family, but there are a lot of actually popes, the head of the Catholic Church. Actually, they coming from Medici family, and a lot of famous actually poets and businessmen and general and politician, actually they coming from the Medici family. At least I know that there are so many popes actually coming from Medici family, and that means they are influential. Even though they created, they can create new nation, and they can actually select a new pope by their family power. So actually, yeah, Renaissance is not actually people's culture. It is actually led by some specific actually family, like the Medici family. And one of the characteristics is classicism. That means actually what is the classic of the Western civilization. We already deal with that. One of the origin of Western Europe civilization is actually based on Greek civilization and the Roman civilization. That's why maybe previously I deal with Greek civilization and the Roman actually civilization. Actually, Italian Renaissance is based on those kinds of long time ago ancient civilization. So Renaissance is age of rebirth of antiquity of Greek civilization, Roman civilization. So it is exactly actually following that paradigm. So desire for ancient Greek text, they start reading. Instead of reading the Bible, they try to find a way through the Greek text and the Roman text, and renewed interest in Greek and Roman culture. So one of the also other characteristic is the art. A lot of development in art through the age of Renaissance. So look at the painting. It actually exactly reminds us of the Roman Empire civilization, isn't it? Maybe through that class, actually, I saw some painting, some architecture, and it was huge. So many people getting together. They have discussion. They discussion. They have in so many parts. Okay, in politics and art and philosophy, something like that. So exactly, actually, Renaissance try to following the paradigm, the civilization of Greek and the civilization of Roman Empire. So many actually are also following that one. So there are a lot of actually development, especially in art during the age of Renaissance, and also in academic area, and focusing on religion and rationality. Previously only faith, okay. Unfortunately, during the Middle Age, one of the biggest reason why they based on the faith and religion is that after the fall of Rome, okay, from that time there was no strong country or no strong nation in Western civilization, and they divided by so many small city states, and there is no strong actually kings, and there are so many diversity, and during that time only one organization called the Roman Catholic Church actually had led the whole age of Middle Age. They are prominent organization throughout the Middle Age. So because of a religious focus by the Roman Catholic Church, they only focusing on faith and religion. But finally, what is the one of the characteristic of Greek civilization and Roman civilization? That is the human-oriented culture. Finally, through the age of Renaissance, Western civilization turned away from actually faith-based, religion-based culture to the human-oriented culture. So there are a lot of change, a lot of viewpoint, worldview has been changed from religion to human. That's why focusing on religion and the nationality of a human being, they again try rely on. They have faith on human religion. Human religion is better than faith. So the age of religion disappear, is getting dark, and finally based on human-centered culture actually arose, and through the age of the Renaissance. And there are so many writers and thinkers and philosophers, they criticize all the way, all the religion, especially based on the Roman Catholic Church. And the period of significant political, religious, economic, artistic, and intelligent, intellectual changes through the age of Renaissance. Especially there are a great actually religious change. Maybe I'm gonna dealing with that issue through the next class with the topic of Reformation. And but today except religious change, I'm gonna dealing with other parts in shortly. And there are a lot of actually growth of university, considered the zone of intellectual autonomy. Actually, during the era of the age of the Renaissance, actually there are a lot of development in academic department, especially relating to the so many big university. Look at the picture. This is the Oxford University. Yeah, comparing to even modern university, it looks like a better quality, better building, better architecture, maybe better classroom. Isn't it beautiful? And study with some freedom from politics and religious authority. Actually, one of the source of Renaissance is coming from the actually university, actually guild of scholar organized, and it looks like almost in the late Middle Age, the concept of guild of scholar, okay, guild of scholar actually resulted in the birth of university. And the major university in Paris, Oxford, Cambridge, especially France and England, there are a lot of excellent universities were born, even in the modern day. Maybe you hope, I want to go to the Oxford University, I want to go to the Cambridge University. Still, it is good. Still, those universities are excellent. And attracted so many scholars. And religion and faith. Usually, religion actually has the more power than the faith through the age of Renaissance. As I said, finally, human actually interested changed from the religion to academic, and from faith to the actual religion. That's why human religion is extremely important concept in order to understanding the concept of Renaissance. Finally, also there has been a lot of development in technology and printing, increased in manufacturing, textile, and new also industry in mining, metallurgy. That means actually new metal like the steel and the aluminum, something like that. So new machinery and technique, especially one of the greatest invention is that printing machine, Johann Gutenberg. Maybe you heard of Gutenberg. This is usually mentioned that the first printing machine throughout the human history. Previously, there is not much actually paper. Actually, instead of the paper in the ancient era, even the Middle era, actually they writing in the animal skin, or sometimes they are from the tree. They cover the skin and or they lighting. Okay, they lighting on that things, but. Because of the development of the paper, especially from the China maybe invented the first paper throughout the human history, and before actually invention of the printing, actually many people writing by himself. Okay, just guess. Without typing, without any printer, you start copying by hands one book. How long it takes? Maybe thick book it takes several months in order to copy one book. But as we know, as soon as the invention of the printing machine, it is very easy. Copy one book, it only takes maybe 5 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes. You use the copy machine, you can copy one book within 1 hour. Okay, that much easy. So the invention of the printing actually give a lot of academic knowledge. Even normal people can easily purchase the book with a cheap price. Previously, one book is extremely expensive, so the normal people cannot even have the Bible, because the Bible was during that, before the invention of a printing machine, it was almost the price of one house. Imagine, okay, one Bible is almost one house price, almost same price. But by the printing machine, invention of the printing machine, finally many people can get easily with a cheap price. They can purchase the books. So Gutenberg actually, as soon as he invented this one, he started printing Bible. Now Bible become normal. Actually, everybody can has the Bible with a cheap price because of these machines. And also science has been developed Maybe many of you already heard of the name of Nicholas Copernicus. Maybe earth science, you study about that. You may heard the name Nicholas Copernicus. Previously, through the Middle Age, actually many people actually believe that the center of the universe is Earth, and sun going around, circle around the Earth. But by the development of science, actually Copernicus insisted, no. The Earth is not the center of the solar system. Actually, sun is the center of the solar system, and the Earth rotating around the sun. And also, during the Middle Age, many people believe that Earth is flat. Okay, flat. So you go to the end of the Earth, you falling from the Earth, and you're gonna die. They never imagined that Earth is a circle. Earth is ball. Okay, they can actually go to the other world through the sea, through the ocean. They didn't know about that because during that time they believed that Earth, as I said, Earth is flat, and if you go to the end, you fall down from the cliff like that. So they afraid to go aboard, but through the actually development of science, finally they figured out Earth is like the ball, and they can go other side through the ship. So maybe there are new actually cover. They found a new actually continent through the development also in the navy and the ship. So there are a lot of actually development also in technology and science, and usually through the late Middle Age, and because of the war, crusade, actually even though the Pope led the crusade, unfortunately Arabic world won, and they still occupied Jerusalem. And through that actually process, Aramaic actually culture more developed than comparing to the Western Europe. And because of actually losing of the war, the power of the Pope declined, and through the age of Renaissance, finally there are some strong political power among the monarchy. Now, previously, a little bit talking about France and England has some kind of a monarchy system, king-centered politics. And now, king has more power. King has more power than Pope. Nation has more power than Catholic Church. So that is monarchy. Birth of modern diplomacy, modern of some kind of development of new actually political system, and ambassador as agents of a state rather than the servants of all Christendom. That means they have some kind of a business with another world. So ambassador, previously they are servants of Roman Catholic Church, but now king send the ambassador to other country as agent of a state. So that means national power is greater than the Roman Catholic Church. So the politics rather than the Roman Catholic Church. So beginning of modern politics, that's the starting point through the age of Renaissance. And the interest of state supersede all other consideration. Previously, religion, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope has superpower rather than actually politics and nation. Now, the concept of nationalism, national nation-centered concept rather than Roman Catholic Church. So that's why interest of the states supersede all other consideration. And maybe you may heard of this name, Machiavelli, because also he wrote about the politics, and he advised the monarchy, kings, to concentrate, have, king should have concentrated power rather than church. So look at the picture, look at the painting. He is Henry, King Henry in United Kingdom. Okay, so now it seems like the king's power supersede or the Pope. Previously, as I said, through the Middle Age, actually the Roman, especially the Roman Catholic Church, Pope, has a superpower. But now there is a political change. The power concept, power-centered concept, actually from Roman Catholic Church to the nation, from the Pope to the king in some specific nation. King's power actually enlarged, and finally a lot of a nation was born through the Renaissance age. So there are a lot of actually political changes. Now it looks like, through the age of the Renaissance, finally many Western Europe countries actually escaped from dark age of the Roman Catholic Church. Religion ruled over everything through the Middle Age. But finally they awake, and every nation awake. They have their one culture, their one nation, and they start ignoring the religion, and they actually even the king not working for the Roman Catholic Church. King just start working for his nation. Kings working for his people. So there are a lot of actually concept change through the age of Renaissance. Even also humanism. Previously, I'm a little bit mentioned about the reason, human reason, human intellectual. Okay, so glorification of people and the human reason, and people have start great interesting in human actually centered concept. From actually they escape from the face. So through the actually age of Renaissance, as I said, Western Europe finally getting their way, and they getting higher actually civilization. Religion and logic were important in understanding the world. Human being could be changed by education. So that's why from religious centered to religion centered, technology nation centered, from faith to maybe human actually intellectual, from God actually to human being. There are a lot of concept changing. So education on liberal art, especially in the university. So every university has the liberal art, okay? Grammar, rhetoric, poetry, moral philosophy, and ethic, history, maybe psychology, society, politics, something like that. So many actually famous universities they have a liberal arts, and they focusing on that through the age of the Renaissance, and also responsible for secularizing the writing of history. So they rejecting divine intervention because actually they escape from faith and religion. And finally, they focusing on human religion. Based on that, there are a lot of actually writing. They actually interpretation of the whole human history. And also there are a lot of actually individualism. Actually, in United States, we are living in individualism. Usually in Asian culture, in my country, South Korea, previously we are based on community, okay, community oriented. But now, even in South Korea, South Korea escaped from the community oriented concept, society oriented concept to individualism. So look at the painting. Left side is the art in Middle Age. Everybody looks like the same face. Look at the painting closely. Even maybe queen and king and his servants, they looks like standing before the photographer, and everybody has almost same face, and there is no specific, no distinguish between the among the people. but look at the right side. Now everybody has their one face, their one clothing, their one face, and there are a lot of actually change. Even I don't need to explain about what do you feel, what do you learn from these two painting. From the Middle Age to the Renaissance, there are a lot of actually changing. This only through looking at these two painting you may recognize. There are a lot of changing in not only in the art and also in the politics and also society and culture, something like that. And I wanted to mention about the several great also artists and scientists. Maybe you know Leonardo da Vinci. Look at the Mona Lisa. Yeah, yeah. Long time ago, when I visited France, actually went to the Louvre museum, and there was Mona Lisa. It is not big painting; it is small. But many of you know that one of the representative actually painting through the age of Renaissance is Mona Lisa by the Leonardo da Vinci. Even he actually doing a lot of science, and he tried to invent the airplane. Renaissance artist style, new realistic style of painting. And Leonardo da Vinci, he is a painter, a sculptor, and architecture inventor, and mathematician. So maybe you may heard of his name. He is an extremely famous artist and scientist and mathematician. And Michelangelo, you may heard of also his name. And especially the Medici family become patrons of the art. So during the age of Renaissance, during that age, many actually rich families supports the artist. And actually Michelangelo actually received a lot of support from the Medici family. And left side is David. Okay, David. His sculpture of the David reflected the blending of these ideas with humanistic philosophy. So previously, human being is only creature of the God, and usually there are in the artistic area there are so many gods and Jesus Christ and the saints. But finally, through the age of the Renaissance, artists actually they describe a human being as a real being, and isn't it beautiful? And it looks like a real person, okay, real person. And also the right side, this is the moment of creation, and right person is God, left is the first human called Adam. They touch their finger each other, and it looks like describe human being almost the same level with God, okay? Human being, Adam is not smaller than God. God, the figure of God, the figure of human being is almost the same level. So through the Renaissance, there are a lot of actually also a change, or especially in humanism. Incorporated the classic and the religious feature on the Sistine Chapel and the St. Peter Cathedral. So through the age of there are a lot of also building of a new church building, cathedral. And Sistine Chapel and the St. Peter Cathedral is one of the famous actually cathedral throughout the age of Renaissance. Even from the modern perspective, it is extremely hard to build that the same building like the Sistine Chapel and the St. Peter's Cathedral. Wow, this is the Sistine Chapel, okay? The whole wall of the building, a Sistine building covered with a lot of painting, especially by the Michelangelo. Even modern artists may not copy that level of art. Whole all the side of the wall, four side of the wall, also the top of the building, every actually side, five side covered with a lot of great painting relating to religion and human. So every human being has a different face, as I said, individualism, and it describes a lot of big story, especially also relating to the life of Jesus Christ. Isn't it beautiful? If I get any chance, I want to visit Italy, to especially visit the Sistine Chapel and St. Peter Cathedral. I want to see that. So, yeah, there are a lot of actually change in also sculpture. And left side is the sculpture of the Middle Age, but right side is Moses, okay, Moses, also done by the Michelangelo. So realistic, okay. So yeah, Middle Age, it looks like rigid. Everybody is static, no changing, no actually face emotion. But as soon as you reach to the Renaissance, every individual has their one face, their one muscle, their one clothing, their one style of fashion, something like that. So there are great actually change in artistic. Actually, I don't know about exactly about actually art. I never study about the actually. So I am novice about the, even architecture. So look at the great actually building through the age of Renaissance. And there are also a lot of actually drawing of architecture. Based on that drawing, they actually building a lot of good buildings, good cathedral, good also the city hall and the government hall. They building like that. And when you look at the one of the characteristic is that if you look at the drawing, in each side there are some statues on the roof, okay? Look at the roof. There are so many persons sculpture, statue on the top of the building. So look at the also carefully left side picture. So even at the top of each building, there are some people, statue, okay, in there. So it is a great actually architecture, even though comparing to modern building. So there are so many beauty, so many artistic factor through the age of Renaissance. Yeah, another actually architecture. Left cathedral is Notre Dame, and the right side is St. Peter Cathedral, maybe Vatican, okay? You may remember. So isn't it beautiful? Even though it was built more than 500 years ago, during that time there was no steel. They cannot use the metallic things, but only with the stone. Main actually material was stone, but only with that stone they building a lot of huge, beautiful buildings. So from my perspective, yeah, the architecture in the Renaissance is more beauty than modern building. Even modern building has more technology, more higher buildings, but frankly speaking, the architecture in Renaissance has more beauty, more artistic view than the modern architecture. Maybe if you have any interest in Renaissance, especially art and architecture, maybe you may study about that. And also there are a lot of actually great writer, Dante, maybe Divine Comedy. Actually, he writing a lot of books, a lot of actually good novels coming from Dante. And also you may heard of Don Quixote. Light side, okay. Even when I was a child, I remember, I remember to read the book of Don Quixote one crazy night. Even he attacking the windmills, okay, windmill, and Don Quixote has been translated in so many languages, and maybe during your childhood, you read a lot of a book. You read about Don Quixote, okay, even in Korean, okay, this book has been translated, so I still remember the content of the Don Quixote. So that is the lighting of the Renaissance area. So even though, yeah, when I comparing previous actually class, especially middle age, there are a lot of changing throughout the. I feel there are a lot of changing in through the age of the Renaissance. So if you have a more interesting, you may find a lot of book, a lot of actually also video through the YouTube. And I'm gonna finish my lecture in here, Renaissance, and see you next week. Thank you.